wanted to talk about our transition into not only organic farming, but well beyond that with regenerative farming. Many years ago, we decided, and I'm talking about the 80s, we had decided that we really loved heirloom tomatoes and that they were mostly not available in grocery stores. They were available maybe in the limited number of farmers markets or fruit stands, or very limited. Whole Foods would show up with them once in a while. And we decided that heirloom tomatoes were something that were so unique and special that we wanted to bring them mainstream. And so we started contracting, partnering with growers to do that. And in that process, there was a guy by the name of Jim Durst that farmed heirlooms, was already farming heirlooms in Esparto, California. And he was growing organically. And I'd walked tomato fields since I was a kid in my dad's tomato fields, and as an adult in my fresh produce growing and distribution career. And what I noticed is when I was walking between the rows, there would be spider webs in between the rows that I would have to break through as I walked through the rows. And there would be butterflies flying around. And this is something that I'd never seen before in a commercially farmed, chemical farming field, because, we killed everything. And I thought, wow, this is something special, although I didn't understand at the time the significance of it. And over the years, I came to understand different nutritional aspects of growing organic, and the most profound learnings came from how farming our land in a regenerative way that sort of eliminates monocultures and eliminates the use of killing things to try and control them, and brings in embracing all the little critters and beings and plant life, and embracing everything to make the entire system work.
Look at that! Yeah, Mommy, look at that! Look, there's a woolly penguin. I love family people. See, there's a woolly penguin. Come on, Pete.
We met with our consultant on cacao farming, and when we first talked about growing organically, he indicated that he thought that was going to be a real challenge, and that there are insect pressures and disease pressures that we'd have to deal with, and that he didn't know that we could successfully do that in our area. And so at the time, knowing that we were 4 or 5 years away from harvesting cacao, and after we planted the first seedlings, and after we grew our first seedlings, and our friend the Chinese rose beetle came in and annihilated them, we did our first chemical soak, and it annihilated those rose beetles for 6 months at a time. It was phenomenal. And the notion of everything that we were killing, everything that exists under the ground and on top of the ground, the ecosystem that we were destroying, weighed heavily on me. And I knew that we had to transition as quickly as possible, and I was told that that once the trees got established, they could withstand the attacks of the rose beetles better, and that we could then make the transition into organic farming. And sure enough, about 6 months ago, maybe a little longer than that, Mandy called me one day. I was on the mainland, and she said, it's been 6 months since we drenched. I know you wanted to transition now into organic, and I'm telling you that the rose beetles are fierce. We've tried to collect them by hand. We've tried everything. We can't control them, and I'm afraid we're going to lose the orchard. And Mandy and I at the time made the decision, okay, if we were going to make the transition. The dirt that Olivia and Reno are playing in is more important than having cacao trees. And we decided, okay, we're going to risk losing the orchard, and we began the transition. Mandy, being who she is, decided that we needed to pull out all the stops to get help to deal with this, and she found Logan.
Dylan Alkane, irrigation. He was working here, great irrigation guy, and he started telling me about Logan's farm, and he was like, you gotta see the mangoes and the papayas, and you know, just the fruit is like this big, and he just talked about the lushness and the incredible beauty of Logan's farm, Majestic Farms, and I was like, right on, you know, and he started telling me about this solution called OHN.
Yeah.
And it could be a solution for our rose beetle problem, because he started talking about how when the plants and trees are healthy, and I had talked to some other cacao farmers on the Hilo side that said, you know, with Korean natural farming, the leaves taste different to the beetle, so it's not as, if it's healthier, it's not as desirable for these rose beetles. I was like, wow, this feels good. This knowledge feels good. I want to explore that. So I got Logan's number and was like, give me some of this OHN. Like, I want OHN. And he was like, okay, how much do you want? Do you want to learn? Do you want to buy? You know, I could go anywhere from...
Be able to tailor it to what your needs were.
Yeah. What do you want? And I was like, well, I don't know what we want. So he came out and he gave my husband and I just like a quick KNF overview and gave us this book that Eric Weinhardt made, Pure KNF, and we started learning about it, and it's like, this feels so much better than what we were doing. I just want this to work. Let's implement this, let's film it, and let's like document this working, because, and it makes me want to cry, because
Respect.
you know, my kids,
What else are we gonna do to it?
You just gotta get it nice and wet. Actually not wet, moisturized. That's super weird. Might need a little more than 5 gallons, but we'll see.
I just think that's so powerful, that the motivating factor and the maternal instinct is what drove this increase of quality and awareness, and that I think is just very telling of just, you know, the real motivation and importance of what you're talking about, and thank you.
And Logan came in and created this that we're enjoying now. The trees are, when you look at the pictures of them from just 3 months ago, it is completely mind-boggling how much they have grown. And you could look at the bright, shiny leaves on these trees and just know that they're happy and they're thick, and pods are coming in, and it's really amazing. And the whole component of eliminating a monocrop by adding in new crops. We have a significant amount of white pineapple, which, by the way, when you get a chance to try, they're incredible. And just the whole process. We're getting ready to plant bananas. We are talking about other herbs and plants that we're going to intersperse amongst the trees, and just the whole transition continues. And the project in my heart is well beyond anything that I ever imagined.